Hi, my name is Rafaela. Today I'm doing a review of the Chinese series Legend of Zang Hai. So far, I absolutely love this series, and I'm going to give you all of my reasons for loving this series so much. So hopefully you can make up your own mind and also watch it. Without any further ado, let's do further. For this review, I'm skipping around across a few episodes because not only the acting is good, but also the editing and what they've done with the lights and so on. I want to give you a good as possible review so far of everything. So not only the acting, but the whole, like the package. And the first episode I'm going to start with is a snippet of episode 9.
娘，我难受。
来把药吃了，这能就不难受了。
Okay, I'm gonna put it on pause there. The first time I actually saw this episode, I could not watch it in one go, in one sitting, because what is happening is quite triggering. This is just the skill of this actor, of Xiao Zhan. I don't know if he actually knows this and if he's trying to play into this or if it's just something else he came up with. But the fact that he starts to throw up is so fitting in this whole scene. All of the anger, all of the fear, all of the agony, the pain, the disgust and horror is just so much that for people who even have PTSD, it crumbs up in your body and it makes you nauseous as hell. It's not just tears, it's not just wanting to scream or run away out of fear. And he did it so marvelously, and I don't know if he did this on purpose or not, but either way, even if it's not on purpose, this is so fitting and recognizable for people who know this type of feeling. Also, just to portray the nasty of the whole situation, not to make it prettier, but just how ugly these things can be. I'm getting goosebumps, by the way. I hope you can see it. Apart from the actor doing this wonderfully, in the editing room they also did something that's really fitting for this, which is of course the flashbacks, which when you have PTSD, my hair, even my hair couldn't handle it anymore. If you have PTSD, you're gonna have flashbacks when you're triggered by certain things. These flashbacks are so real, just seeing that one thing, that fish, and getting all of those memories smashed back into your head whilst you would have hoped they would never ever return. It's yeah, triggering to see that, but very well done. And the other thing, camera in this whole shot was following Xiao Zhan. And most of the time we get different shots, right? It sometimes breaks the tension going from one angle to another angle and another angle. When the camera is following someone, it creates a kind of intimacy between the audience and the actor and the character. and it does not break the tension. So the full story, you're going along with the character, with the actor, which is a wonderful choice they made for this specific scene to heighten the impact. The following episodes I want to review with you, and I want you to mind specifically the lighting together with me.
下官参见大人。
世爵，不必多礼。
大人，怎么搬到此处来了？
这比里头敞亮，也方便进出，倒是一个奋笔疾书的好地方。
So as you can see really nicely here is what's happening with the face of Zang Hai is only half of his face is lit, first of all, and the second thing is he's way more lit out than his colleague is. And there's another episode, actually there are multiple episodes where they're doing this, but another one where it also really stood out to me that there was this obvious change in lighting between two characters that were facing each other. Here he is standing off together with the Marquise. And you can see the same thing, like Zang Hai is way better lit up than the Marquise is. And I don't think that's just an aesthetic thing they've done. I mean, yeah. I think there must be a very clear reason for this. And to me, what this does is... what's happening is actually that the other characters are sort of literally kept in the dark about what's actually happening with Zang Hai, because Zang Hai, he is only half lit. So to me that gives the impression of we only know half of his character, we only know half of his plans, we only know half of what's going on. Then the other characters are also literally kept in the dark with their faces being more dark than Zang Hai is. It does two things. One, it creates the other characters being a bit more dark or less fresh, untouched, pure as Zang Hai is, but at the same time, it also keeps them still in the dark of Zang Hai's schemes. So I think this is such a wonderful way of cinematography, the amount of detail they put into this series. So, for the following episode I want to view with you, it's a snippet of episode 18, and I want to focus on the acting again in this one. What has stood out to me, being an actor myself, but also seeing a lot of actors act, is there are a couple of things that really make a good actor. And one is, of course, empathy, but the other thing is, once people are on set, it is being extremely focused and being extremely present, and it's a kind of present that's not the presence of someone has this type of presence or not. It's being completely focused in the here and now and focusing only purely on the task and the other person in front of you. So for this episode, I've noticed that Xiao Zhan is extremely good at doing this. He is so extremely focused. And I want to view this snippet of this episode with you guys so you can also pay attention to it and see how well he does this. And it seems like quite a trivial meeting. But clearly when you look certainly at the eyes and the focus, it's not trivial at all anymore.
我今日前来，正要找你说此事。兵部近日广发征兵令。 我想让你从军。从军？没错。想要超过庄知府，就要另辟蹊径，做他做不到的事。你必须在军营历练一番，未来才会有翻天覆地的变化。
但就算我决定要去，恐怕我爹也不会同意。
那就去求他，一次不行就求2次，2次不行就3次，求到他同意为止。 关键是要让他看到你的决心。
是。
It's so enjoyable to watch because it draws you in. It completely draws you into the whole performance, even when it's a scene where you're like, what could happen in this scene? You're still engaged and sucked into it because of this type of laser focus and laser presence. Now, the following episode, it's a snippet from episode 21. This time it's also about the acting that's happening, and it's specifically another trait that really good actors have, and that's the trait of listening.
下官要的正是如此。若朝堂上都是些明哲保身之人，那这份名单递上去，不会引起丝毫动静。但若他们自以为可以利用这份名单来大做文章，相互攻讦呢？若这份名单无机可乘，那么谁来替朝廷做这惩奸除恶的好事呢？
若能合纵连横，厘清其中的派别，借力打力，温而治之，你在你的位置出此下策，便情有可原。
I say this because good acting mostly is not even in what the people are saying, but how well they are listening to the other actor and receiving the other actor. Because in acting, you only speak or you only react because you wish to react to something that has been said, done, felt, or anything of the matter. It's always in reaction to something that you wish to speak. But in order to react truthfully to something, you have to first listen very carefully. And reacting starts even before you start speaking. Receive, and via what you receive, you give something back. And not only giving. And this episode, or this snippet, is a very good example of that. This could only happen, and the camera could only turn so often to the one that is listening, if the actors are actually good actors and properly listening and then authentically responding to what is being said to them. So overall, I think this drama is really well written and also really well worked out. It's really well done, not only the acting, but like all of the details are there, all of the editing is there, the lighting is there, like everything is so well worked out. And that actually also brings me to the next thing, and that is the writing. The writing itself has been done so wonderfully. First of all, the writer actually takes the time to tell a story, and that's something I sometimes miss within a lot of movies nowadays. And this story actually does that really well. They take their time to set up a story, to tell the story for the audience to figure out the characters. And in that way, they're not force-feeding, or the writer is not force-feeding the people into thinking one way or the other. Because even in order to enjoy this series, you don't necessarily have to like the main character. Frankly, I'm still a bit in doubt whether or not I like Zang Hai or not, because on one hand, the injustice being done to him was so terrible, and what he has seen is so terrible, and what he must feel must be so terrible, but at the same time, he's scheming and also killing people as he goes and as he likes. But that is good storytelling, because for good storytelling, you don't need to like the character. You just need to have some kind of empathy for them. And that series does that, because the pure injustice that has been done to them and the way he must feel creates enough empathy, I think, for the viewers to want to know more and to at least be engaged with the story. I really recommend it. I think this series is really worth it to be watching for just everything, the story, the acting, the attention to detail, just everything. I'd say watch it. So that's all for me, and maybe see you next time. Bye!